All right, guys, welcome back to the first day of 2020 planting season. Let's hope. One digger just left the yard. I think that's all we're gonna run today. And Eric's spreading fertilizer. He's maybe told you about what's going on. He's having some issues. Just doing some grove cleanup, getting ready for when it does go to full-fledged planting. Right now we're just kind of picking and choosing fields, and not everything is ready, but we're staying busy and getting closer, getting the kinks worked out of everything. I've got to fill the seed tender up and go to town, get some fertilizer for liquid on the planter. Let's get to it. Okay, then I guess we start with charging some batteries. That's odd. Well, I'm glad he's not in the field waiting for me. The truck probably wouldn't be dead if he was. I wonder why that is. Shouldn't be. Got left on that shouldn't have. Didn't see anything. Well, let's see if the seed tender runs. And I haven't really practiced with this thing, so it's gonna be a learning experience. That starts. Could be one of my favorite features here, the automatic roll cart. Just needed 5 minutes, I guess.
Well, good morning. Guess what? We're farming. That's right, farming. I've got it out. It's actually working. I apologize for the dirty windows. I was so excited to get off the yard and go out and do something in the field that I forgot to wash the windows. Rookie mistake, but we're out here. We're out picking rock, going around the edges of the fields, trying to make sure, for those of you that do not know, the edges of the field are the most dangerous for picking up rocks and bean heads and corn heads and all that. So we always try to groom the outside edge the best. Along with land rolling, I always get up next to the edge so you don't scoop up the nasties. Okay, I gotta go. I'll be right back.
Well, I'm spreading fertilizer. It is that time of the year. We've got a couple fields further south of the farm that are a little nicer soil, and they are ready. It's cold out, it's windy out today. I think it's gonna get up to a little over 60 or so, and then this week we got some 70s, but dang near froze last night. It got chilly, and tonight's gonna be cold too. But we're not too worried about soil temp. I'm assuming you guys have heard us talk about that. Soil moisture is our big driver. This is a 35-acre field here. It is a perfect rectangle, super easy. I'm gonna do this one in another 40-acre field to try to set this machine. I have no scale on the Terrigator, so we can only go off of what is delivered. They give us the weight and how many acres it's supposed to cover, and I have to basically do the whole field and then adjust the cal number. Not quite as nice as the ProForce, but if you guys are wondering why we're not using the ProForce, we don't want the compaction from another quad track pulling that ProForce going into spring planting. Fall tillage and whatnot, that's different. We can go out, load up the ProForce, pull it with whatever tractor we want. Might get some compaction, but fall tillage and then the frost through the winter will break up that, whereas that's not the case now. So we don't want to wreck our seed bed. Simple as that. Although I do miss it already because I just loaded this thing and we couldn't even empty one hopper on the semi-trailer versus emptying the entire trailer into the ProForce, so whatever, we'll get used to it again. What am I spreading? Urea, which is our source of nitrogen for the year. Well, our majority source. We do get some N from other things too. I'm doing 120 pounds. This is soybean stubble. So we credit 30 units from the soybean trash worth of N. So that gets us up to 150 units of N. Plus we do some starter and 28% going for that 180, 190 total units of N for the corn for its growing season. I'm gonna try to get back into the hot seat here. Might bring you guys in a little later, but I gotta get used to this job again.
All right, I got it out, pumped a couple of tires, and gassed her up. Now it's to remember how to do this. I think we start with this. Okay, pivot left, swing, open, tilt. Let's try up first. Woo! It's working! I'm a bit rusty. There went my ladder. Alright, for the first time doing it out of the shop, only took me 4 minutes.
Wow, you definitely got your pay there. Ooh, a little dusty, but now it doesn't work all the best if the ground has not worked, but it does work. I think Chet's gonna say, what did you do to my camera? The coontail? Oh, what a mess. Okay, well, maybe I can put you up here somewhere. You can see the real live action, but you can also see that it does not work. We do not usually do too much tillage up on these hills, so we are picking up a lot of soybean trash. It's quite a mess. Well, there you have it. I don't know. I maybe won't be showing you too much more, but that's how she works. Stuff like that, that's the best to pick. Stuff smaller, not too interested in doing that. So we're really only after the ones that could be scooped up, although anything could be scooped up in a bean head, but rolling the ground, that prevents all that from getting up into the bean head, as I'm sure you know. Maybe you don't. I gotta go. Focusing.
Alright, I brought you into the hot seat. I got a hang of it. It wasn't too bad. I rigged the field as normal, and now I'm going down and back to wrap this field up. That 261 is pounds per acre, which equates to the 120 pounds of actual units of N. Because urea is, every 100 pounds of urea is 46 units of N. So that's why I'm doing 261 pounds. But it's working. I don't have any plugs. Auto track works. Now I just gotta hope I can calibrate it in about 70 acres. Well, these irrigators, or the airflow, is a love-hate relationship. When it's windy like this, you need it. Spinner spreader wouldn't be working today. But there's also a lot more hydraulics, solenoids, everything else on this machine compared to that Pro Force. So I've got a little bit of a problem. I don't know if you guys can see, but it's no longer clean. It's spraying hydraulic oil as we talk, as I talk. Yeah, it's a solenoid that we did see this last winter. Decided not to fix because it's almost $1,000, and she decided to quit, puke out today, the first day. So should not have taken the cheap route, but Caterpillar's not very cheap. I'm gonna set you guys in the wind, try to show you what it looks like. Pretty dusty? Yeah, and this wind is spiraling. All that hydraulic oil has covered my glass, my mirrors. And no, I'm not being dumb about it. We have this right here. I'm making sure my hydraulic oil stays full. It's not leaking that bad. But we don't want to shut down. Parts are ordered. They will be here tomorrow, hopefully. The part that we decided not to buy in the winter. Let's come back in the cab where it's nice and quiet. Whew. All right, not much to these things. For those that don't are not familiar with Terragator, forward, reverse, on, off to apply, and it does have cruise control, which is the foot pedal down on the ground. Coverage mount, it's where you set up your auto track. That kind of does it too, but yeah, there's not much to it. This Terragator is a 2008. It's got an 8-ton box, 70-foot air booms on it. Been around the farm longer than I have. I didn't see the one they had before this, but I know this is a big upgrade from the last one. It gets the job done. I hope we're not going to limp it across the finish line. That's never the goal. Just got to keep it running as we go. With anything that deals with fertilizer, there is a lot of corrosion and rust from the fertilizer. Even though we do take the time to wash our equipment as much as possible, it still just causes everything to go to heck. As you can probably see, maybe this camera makes the machine look nicer, but there's a little bit of surface rust in some areas. We are on corn ground, so it's a lot bumpier from last fall's tillage, and we are doing 150 units of N because we don't have that soybean credit that I talked about earlier, the 30 units from the soybean trash. So that's why I went from 120 to 150. But yeah, she's bumpy.
Okay, now we are ready to self-load. We're not going to put talc on because it's got a talc conductor that will load the talc on when, and that's just lube for the seed when it's going to the planter. Now we'll get our box here and get it over that. See if we can't plug something. And there it is, if you've never seen seed corn before. Treated seed corn. The treatment is for bugs, disease, you name it. Alright, to the conveyor we go. Alright, I imagine we want full throttle. That seems to be operating as it should. Come on. Almost done with one. Whoa, I overfilled it. Well, first box down, 3 more to go. If it'll fit in there, I'm not sure if it will. That hasn't gotten any easier, but I still haven't lost it. Woo! All right, 4 empty totes, setting them outside because we're having a big corn year this year and I can't even fit all the corn seed in this building because there's a lot of chemical. If you're wondering what 4 totes of big size seed looks like, 4 totes of 40 units, for those that know what that means. I'm gonna have to shovel her down a bit, but it did fit and it will fit, I hope. It's right at that temperature where too cold to not have a jacket on. When you really get working, it's hot. All right, I gotta fold this up and then I'm gonna broom that level so the tarp goes over. I've got some insecticide on there for our corn on corn acres. We're almost ready to go to town. There, she fit, and I didn't even have to put any in the other hopper. That's good. I want that one to stay empty in case we find a different field that needs a different variety. But we're starting with the 100th day, which is our longest day. I gotta fill that up too.
Well, the wind has died down some, but she's still blowing. I wanted to show you guys this. It's on my home place, south quarter. You maybe can see the old field line, and then we pushed the field north into what used to be CRP. They did farm this many years ago. The contract for the CRP was up, and I wanted to claim some back. So gained about 5 acres here, and then across on the other side of the creek bottom, got 15 more acres. So I like it. It fits right in with the field, just extends the main rows a little further. I know over there's some gravel veins or sandy veins and clay hilltops, so it's not going to be the best, but with something that fits into the field so perfectly, I wanted to try it. Yeah, I just spread urea on it. My whole south quarter, besides this 5 acres, had anhydrous on it last fall. So this whole field is now set up for tillage, and hopefully it'll get planted sometime soon.
It definitely is not working the best because I am slanted the wrong direction. The rocks are not easily being thrown into the bucket because I'm tipping to the left, and the box is uphill. You could say the box is uphill, so it's not working the best. I'm struggling, and the box is never big enough when it gets down to stuff like this. The yield is tremendous yield again. Okay, let's go to a different part of the field. If some of you are wondering what type of machine this is, it is a hay buster rock picker. It's one of the older ones made. It has its place. It does not like a lot of trash, like I said before. So if you do not have, I'll say almost black ground, you are not going to like it. So we usually use our Summers rock picker. I think it's a 600 or 700. 700? It doesn't matter. It's a Summers reel picker. That one seems to be the best. You can do a lot of scooping, picking rocks individually, which you could do with this one too, but it's, I don't know, it's maybe just needing to update. Maybe that's what I need to do, update this one. Maybe the newer ones are better. I have no idea, but this one you cannot pick any rocks, maybe any bigger than that, or it will get jammed in the wheel. That's another reason why we like the Summers, because you can go after the big boys and without any issues. So that's the rock picking history of what we have here. Let's see, now I'm out of control. Well, I know one more improvement I'm going to make if we're gonna keep using this thing is goodbye rope. I should have done that earlier, just bypass that valve, and because this tractor does have 3 remotes, so we could have made that work, but yeah. So here we go, unloading. Doesn't really lift high enough to unload perfectly neither. Got to hooky jerk it. You know what? I bet you guys are sick of me. I'm gonna send you back Chet. I'm sure he's doing something that you'll be more interested in than this rock picker from 1970 something. I'm gone. Okay, I said my goodbyes before, but okay, here we go. I gotta show you one last thing before I let you go and Chet takes over. But for those of you that don't know, there was enough snow on top of all the ice around the neighborhood lakes, the shallow lakes, that they did not, the fish, they didn't survive. So yeah, most of that is carp, but there are, especially on the lake that I live on, there are walleyes, northerns, panfish, you name it, that did not survive the winter. But the pelicans, they're doing good. And so are the seagulls. They're enjoying all of the dead fish, but there's way too many of the dead ones for the birds to eat. So for those that have been following on Instagram and all that, no, the DNR do not pick up the dead fish nobody picks the dead fish up unless you yourself want to pick them up for some reason. But so they all just kind of lay there and become one with the earth again. But that's just the way that is in years like last winter was. Let's just say Mother Nature is cruel. So the fish died, the deer died, anything that had to live outside took a beating. Now back to your regularly scheduled program.
Good job, guys. All right, well, I finished fertilizing the soil and now I'm land rolling. And this thing's big. 84 feet was big. 91 is, well, it is a little bigger, believe it or not. It looks so clean. Let's go find some mud. Well, that went pretty good for the first time unfolding it. Very similar to the last one. This is a Summers 91-foot land roller, for those that don't know, and I don't know if I really mentioned that. Couple changes. The end wheels here, they went to a 2-wheel dolly to try to get rid of some of the wobble that came from the last design. Still nice, it folds up out of the way of the land or the end of the drum, so when you're bordering the edge of the field you don't have to worry about that. They also added this bar here, which maybe you can tell from here. Hydraulic cylinder extends, this comes out and pushes against the other side, so as you're backing up, basically that's there to help push it apart so it unfolds faster and rolls the way you want. I think they had to add that due to going to the 2-wheel system on the end here, just to make sure it wanted to roll out when you backed up. I know I had, the biggest headache of my life trying to unfold a different brand 40-foot land roller at the last farm I worked for. And it didn't have that little bar to help you push it out, and it was a nightmare. Should be the simplest part, just unfolding, but not the case on that other brand. This one unfolded easy. And it's wide. I don't know why. Another, 8 feet? 7 feet? There's the math. It's only 7 feet wider, but we're gonna cover some acres. All right, we're going back and forth. This is corn on corn ground. So what we do, the diggers come out here, we finished our fertilizer, finished our spring tillage, but the planter, before he gets here, we land roll to try to take some of the fluff out of the dirt, which tends to happen on these corn on corn grounds. Just gets so soft. So I don't try to get every corner, nothing with the land roller. We just do the main rows, don't ring the field or nothing. Basically just try to prep the seed bed a little better. I know Larson's did some testing before I worked for them and found that this does help yield. It's not one of those gypsy dust things, so that is why we try to land roll the corn on corn acres. Doug is just about a mile away planting some other ground. He'll be to this field next. I don't know if that's tonight or not, but I had time. We all have time, right? Night shift hasn't even started yet. We'll see what happens. Well, that was a decent day. Got a little over 400 acres of fertilizer spread, all while leaking hydraulic oil. And did a little land rolling. I think they got the planter somewhat set, hopefully, but I don't know. Day goes by too quick. I feel like I should have done more. Still productive for being the first day.